Indonesia last year achieved the status of a globally important agricultural heritage system, or GIAS. The Sibatan customary village Salak agroforestry system was officially established by the Food and Agriculture Organization as one of the GIAS sites. This recognition highlights how age-old practices can provide a blueprint for a sustainable food system. About 15 kilometers from the majestic Mount Agung, Bali's highest peak, in Karangasem Regency, the island's driest region, is an agroforestry system cultivating salak, also known as snake fruit. Salak palm trees cover swaths of land, with the island's largest orchards covering nearly 1,500 hectares, in the villages of Sibatan and Jungutan. Together, they make up the Sibatan customary village. Historical records show the first salak palm tree was planted in the 14th century by Jeroduku Sakti, a revered traditional healer and priest. This has encouraged the local community to carry on his legacy. Traditional village customs and laws, known as awik-awik, also function as a guideline to practice the deeply ingrained Balinese philosophy of Trihita Karana, harmony and balance with God, others, and nature.
Orang yang punya pohon nangka, apabila dia menebang, itu harus seizin daripada desa adat. Kalau salak ya memang warisan dari dulu, ya, yang sangat dipertahankan, karena itu merupakan sumber daripada kehidupan masyarakat, ya, dari hasil salak yang kita wariskan dari dulu.
The snake fruit is native to Indonesia. The moniker, earned by its brown, scaly, and slightly spiky skin. The fruit itself grows in clusters at the base of the trees, and the skin is peeled before eating. The flesh generally has a moist yet crunchy bite, with a sweet, sour, and slightly acidic taste. Each variant is unique. Called the prima donna, the most expensive snake fruit variant in Bali is this, salak gula pasir, or the sugar variant. Let's give it a try. It's really delicious. It has a sweetness to it that isn't overpowering. The Regency has the highest number of salak varieties in the world. Inangah Karsawinaya grows 12 of them. Waiting for the seed to sprout fruit is a life lesson in patience.
Biji itu direndam dulu 1 hari, udah itu sudah keluar susuknya itu, udah itu baru di polybag. Di polybag itu selama 6 bulan. Selama 6 bulan di polybag sudah besar, daunnya 4 atau 5 atau 6, baru ditanam ke kebun. Setelah di kebun, selama di kebun itu yang paling cepat itu sampai 4 tahun baru berbuah selanjutnya. Kalau lahannya bagus, kalau lahannya tidak baik lagi itu mungkin 5 tahunan baru berbuah.
Salak production requires the support of shade plants and rainwater collection areas. So, the agroforestry system combines other crops in a 5-strata system. The resulting landscape plays an important role in absorbing carbon, reducing runoff, and increasing groundwater filtration. The landscape also serves as a crucial water catchment area, providing water supply to some 1,000 hectares of rice fields, supporting 10 villages along the Buhu River. The comprehensive system is the first in Indonesia to earn this international recognition.
It's a system. It's not only agriculture production, but also it's a sort of like a combination of agriculture production, how people have been practicing it to sustain their livelihoods, but at the same time, how they are working together to also conserve the biodiversity and protect the nature. And then how they are also maintaining their rich cultural heritage in their way of life, which has passed from generation to generation. So you can say it's a combination of all these factors. That's why we call it agriculture heritage system.
The community hopes this achievement will help boost the local economy.
Seingat saya sih lebih dari 3 tahun sudah mengajukan ini. Prosesnya lama sekali sehingga mendapat pengakuan, sehingga setelah ini mudah-mudahan dengan pengakuan ini bisa juga dari segi hasil pertaniannya, termasuk hasil salaknya nanti bisa lebih meningkat dan berdampak ekonominya lebih baik kepada masyarakat.
Over in Jungutan village, Ninyo Manmerti and Katutsari are reaping the final fruit of the growing season. Salak is their main source of income, but the fruit's abundance is also the very reason for their dilemma.
Ini kan untuk kita penghasilan sehari-hari, ya untuk sekolahin anak, kuliah, ya ini memang dari sini. Nah, kalau yang parahnya lagi, kalau musimnya itu, nah itu kita benar-benar ini karena harganya murah sekali. Ya.
Kemarin tuh harganya sampai 3.000.
2.000 malah, ya, malah 2.000 kita. Ya, 2.000. Jadinya kita nggak nutup untuk biaya dari apalagi perawatan untuk ongkos petik sama transportasi itu aja nggak bisa kita nggak nutup dari harga salak itu kalau lagi pas musimnya.
Off-season prices are more profitable, with regular variants costing about $1 and the sugar variant double that price.
Mudah-mudahan ke depannya baik dari pemerintah maupun pihak terkait bisa membantu memfasilitasi masalah tersebut sehingga salak tetap bisa dilanjutkan ke depannya. Karena di wilayah kami terutama Desa Jungutan banyak penduduk yang membabat salaknya ditanami dengan komoditi lainnya. Karena dari ketika mengenal salak sampai saat sekarang terjadi masalah atau kendala terkait dengan harga di pasaran.
While this fluctuation has hindered a stable paycheck for many, it has pushed some to look for alternative sources of income. Next up, we'll take a look at how farmers are innovating business for a more secure earning stream. Tea, coffee, dates, wine, and vinegar. These are some of the products that Inyo Manmastra Kongking sells at his store. Unlike their regular counterparts, these products are all made from snake fruit.
Kami lihat dulu ya, karena salak itu di saat musim panen raya itu sangat banyak sekali. Sehingga ada yang terbuang percuma dan kemudian tidak bisa juga dipasarkan ke daerah lain. Sehingga di sini kami ingin salak akan semuanya bisa berdaya guna dan bisa menghasilkan uang untuk kedepannya. Seperti salak yang sudah matang sekali kita ubah untuk menjadi produksi yang memang tahan lama, yang bisa nanti untuk dipersiapkan di saat tidak musim.
Here at the local market, snake fruit sellers are sorting through their supply. The fruit are separated by size and quality. And those considered to be inferior, like the ones in this sack weighing 42 kilograms, will be thrown away if they're unable to sell. Niwayan Srinik decided to brine her fruit supply, turning it into a type of pickle. This ended up being the right solution for her and her business too. Up to 16 tons of salak or snake fruit are processed here during the harvest season. They are stored in these 300 drums, washed, brined, and placed in rice sacks lined with plastic. All the fruits are shipped off to Jakarta by land for sale, with up to 5 tons of the fruits sent by each truck shipment. Having run the business with her husband for the last 30 years, they've only brined the fruit in the past decade, which has ramped up company profits between 5 and 10%.
Dulu sebelum ada asinan salak seperti ini, untuk memasarkan ke Jawa, salak yang besar-besar dikirim ke Jakarta, terus kecilannya dibuang di sini karena tidak boleh dikirim ke luar Bali. Sekarang sesudah semenjak ada asinan yang masih bisa diproses, ya dikerjakan, dikupas di sini, terus diasinkan, bisa di stok.
For women like Putu Rustini, who live in the neighborhood, it's also an opportunity to earn an income. Madam Wayan recruits them to peel the fruit for her business. Madam Putu can peel up to 200 kilograms of snake fruit a day, earning more than $10 US. Some farmers, like Inangakar Sawinaya, have ventured into agrotourism.
Nah, inilah salak merah.
Oh. Beneran merah, Pak?
Iya, merah. Saya kupas.
Oh, wow.
Nah, ini boleh. Tuh.
Merah sekali, Pak.
Iya.
Beneran merah. Saya belum pernah lihat, Pak.
Buah ke, Pak? Ya.
Asam ya, Pak?
Asam. Seperti salak Bali.
With 12 salak variants grown on site, visitor response has been positive.
Australia, Amerika, itu yang banyak, dan England. Itu yang tetap ada. Termasuk India, itu ada. Ya. Sekarang rata-rata per bulan itu ada 100 orang masuk.
With times and technology advancing, young farmers in the village are also trying different things. Islands of Imagination crafts beer in small batches. It is the first microbrewery in the country to use locally sourced ingredients in their beers. One of their flavors is salak.
Aroma karbonasi bagus. Ini bisa dijual. Sejauh ini dari awal berdiri itu ya hampir 5-6% lah dulu. Karena ada orang lokal yang penikmat dari bir, tapi lebih banyak kita jualnya ke bule. Nah, kenapa persentasenya masih belum begitu banyak? Karena di negara lain atau di daerah lain, salak itu belum familiar bagi mereka. Ya, beda dengan misalnya contoh jeruk atau apa kan semua punya. Ya, ini hanya lokal di Bali yang baru banyak yang punya salak, Bali khususnya. Jadi, kita harus memperkenalkan dulu, salak itu apa sih? Rasanya gimana sih? Teksturnya gimana? Baru kita bisa padukan ke bir yang kita jual.
Despite the variety of business ideas, innovations, and recent recognition from the FAO, the push to boost the competitiveness of the Balinese snake fruit has yet to transcend local borders. Authorities say budget constraints and a lack of human resources hinder progress at the central level.
Kalau level pusat tantangannya adalah setelah budidaya adalah di pemasaran. Kalau kita nilai dari segi ekonomi, ekologi, sosial dan budaya itu memiliki nilai yang sangat tinggi. Itu yang perlu kita pertahankan. Nah, kalau kita sudah memiliki nilai ekologis yang sangat tinggi, artinya salak Bali itu sudah bisa kita angkat. Dan kita juga akan selalu melakukan pendampingan kepada petani kita dari hulu sampai hilir.
There are also strong ambitions for the future. Potential snake fruit exports from Bali to the rest of the world. And perhaps a blueprint to follow for other crops in the future too. Coming up next, Preserving the snake fruit and its legacy is a lesson that's taught early to the children in Sibatan Customary Village.
Setelah dicampurkan, masukkan ke dalam polybag. Setelah tanah yang sudah dicampurkan ke dalam polybag, masukkan biji salaknya.
These 6th graders are learning how to prep and plant a snake fruit seedling. Their curriculum covers agriculture and plants with a short growth period. But given the village's unique position in producing snake fruit, the school has modified its teachings to preserve its legacy.
Karena potensi daerah Sibatan itu salaknya itu sangat baik kualitasnya, kami juga memberikan pelajaran tambahan tentang khususnya pembibitan. Untuk umpamanya perawatan dan selanjutnya itu anak-anak belajar di rumah, karena sebagian besar, hampir semuanya anak-anak itu orang tuanya petani.
After the practical demonstration, the morning lessons continue in class.
Salak itu banyak jenisnya ya. Yang pertama dari salak lokal, salak gulai, salak.
The students watch an educational video on salak farming and present a summary on what they've learned. Imade Brata has been teaching at the school for 25 years. A farmer himself, he hopes the lessons will motivate his students to become farmers too.
Siapa yang suka bantu Bapak Ibu di rumah untuk berkebun? Angkat tangan.
Ada di ekstra kan supaya anak-anak itu bangga terhadap salak, karena mayoritas kita kan di sini petani salak ya, di mana supaya maulah generasi muda untuk melanjutkan, tidak gengsi untuk menjadi petani.
Ikatut Latra has been farming all his life. For over 20 years, the 53-year-old has been a snake fruit plant propagator. This means that he has an official permit to create seeds by the Bali Provincial Agriculture Agency through the Seed Supervision and Certification Center. As an owner of some 2 hectares of land, he's divided his plot 3 ways. 40% to plant seeds, 60% for the parent trees, and a hilltop site for tourists. He has over 300 salak trees on the property. He doesn't grow all variants of the fruit, preferring to cultivate variants that sell well in the market. But the seeds he cultivates are those of the prima donna, the sugar variant of the snake fruit. And he sold 15,000 of those seedlings last year. Each certified seedling is sold for a little over $1.50.
Ada rasa tanggung jawab untuk keberlanjutan dari budidaya salak itu sendiri. Nah, apalagi sekarang petani-petani itu yang muda-muda itu akan enggan untuk menjadi petani. Nah, dengan kita menyediakan bibit unggul dan cara bertani yang bagus bagi mereka dengan cara budidaya yang sesuai dengan SOP, ini akan menjamin kesejahteraan petani dan mereka akan berlanjut menjadi petani salak.
I'm told that the sugar variant of the snake fruit is only found in Bali. If the seed is planted anywhere outside of Karangasem Regency, the fruit will not reach its optimum quality. Authorities say they are taking the necessary measures to better cultivate and preserve the fruit.
Tentu kita akan menghindari alih fungsi lahan. Kami tugaskan Dinas Pertanian apakah akan menyiapkan sejenis cold storage yang bisa mempertahankan harga jual kepada kelompok petani, kita membuat juga bagaimana action plan-nya tentang regulasi hukumnya. Juga sudah kami siapkan bagaimana melindungi, kemudian mendistribusikan dan keberlanjutan pangan lokal, salah satunya salak ini.
The local education agency has also been tasked with creating a curriculum to encourage farming among the youth.
The hope is that schools in Sibatan village, like this one, will help to educate students not just in the academic sense of a curriculum, but also in a traditional sense, to help carry forward the legacy of their ancestors.